The NHL has seen some serious firepower throughout the years, and that is exactly what this video is all about. Hockey players who time and time again have shown up for their teams, put them on their back, and without a doubt could always put the puck at the back of the net. From legendary hockey icons to players still playing today, in this video we're going to be ranking the all-time best scorers for all 32 NHL teams. The Seattle Kraken, Jared McCann, 74 goals. Seattle Kraken forward Jared McCann emerged as one of the best goal scorers in the NHL during the 2022-23 season, but it didn't always appear he'd reach those heights. It took some time for McCann to realize his full potential after he was selected in the first round of the 2014 NHL draft by the Vancouver Canucks. McCann recently appeared on the Mitts Off podcast, candidly explaining why he believed the Canucks gave up on him prematurely. McCann recorded 40 goals and 70 points in the Kraken's 2022-23 season, which was easily the best campaign of his career, steering the Kraken to a second-round playoff appearance. He finished 23rd in points league-wide at 5-on-5 during the regular season, helping his team lead the NHL in goals at even strength. So far through the 2023-24 season, Jared McCann has 7 goals, 3 assists for 10 points in 19 games played. The Vegas Golden Knights, Jonathan Marchessault, 155 goals. Early in the life cycle of a franchise, the career leaders will change a lot. Right now, Jonathan Marchessault and William Karlsson are frequently swapping for the career leading goals. However, Marchessault holds the lead right now with 155. The Golden Knights took Marchessault from the Panthers in the expansion draft, and he is one of the few remaining original players on the current team. He is not their flashiest player on the roster, but he's certainly been consistent, and he remains a major factor in the Vegas forward group. The Minnesota Wild, Marian Gaborik, 219 goals. As terrific a player as Marian Gaborik was, he played for 5 different franchises and never stuck with any one team for very long. His longest stint was with the team that drafted him, the Minnesota Wild, who took him 3rd overall in the 2000 NHL draft, which was their inaugural draft. He played 8 seasons there, scoring 437 points with 219 goals in 502 games played. Gaborik left in free agency as the last original Wild player, signing with the Rangers in 2009. He would later go on to win the Cup in 2014 with the Los Angeles Kings, before seemingly ending his career due to a herniated disc he suffered with the Ottawa Senators in 2018. The Nashville Predators, Filip Forsberg, 245 goals. The greatest scorer in Nashville Predator franchise history will be a Predator for a long time. Filip Forsberg signed an 8-year contract extension in 2022 and will likely rewrite the franchise's record books. After arriving in the infamous trade for Martin Erat, he quickly showed his value by joining the all-rookie team. Since then, he's played 630 games with the franchise with 245 goals and 528 points. The Florida Panthers, Alexander Barkov, 248 goals. Before the 2021-22 season, Olli Jokinen led the Florida Panthers franchise with 188 career goals. Now he sits 3rd thanks to a 30-plus goal season from Jonathan Huberdeau and Alexander Barkov, who now has 248 goals with the Panthers. Barkov is already the greatest player in franchise history, and he's only 28 years old. As the 2nd overall pick in 2013, he has quickly earned a reputation as one of the best all-around centers in the league, winning the 2020-21 season Selke Trophy in his 6th of 8 consecutive 20-plus goal seasons. There is a reason why the Panthers didn't hesitate to sign Barkov to an 8-year, $80 million extension that will keep him in South Florida through the 2029-2030 season. By the end of that contract, he'll likely hold the bulk of the records in franchise history. The Columbus Blue Jackets, Rick Nash, 289 goals. The Columbus Blue Jackets are a relatively young team, but there's no debating the greatest player in franchise history at this point. Rick Nash was the 1st overall pick in the 2002 NHL draft, and he'd go on to play the next 9 years with the Blue Jackets. In that time, he scored 289 goals and 547 points in 674 games played. In his sophomore season, Nash won the Rashard Trophy with 41 goals. After 9 seasons, Nash was clearly the biggest trade chip for a rebuilding franchise, and he was shipped off to the Rangers for a haul of players and a 1st-round pick. After 15 seasons, Nash retired from the NHL in 2019, and the Blue Jackets retired his number in 2021. The Winnipeg Jets, Ilya Kovalchuk, 328 goals. Ilya Kovalchuk is officially the franchise leader in goals for the Winnipeg Jets, but the first overall pick of the Atlanta Thrashers in 2001 left the team long before it relocated prior to the 2011-2012 season. Before he did though, he scored 328 goals and 615 assists in 594 games played, winning the Rashard Trophy in the 03-04 season and becoming an All-Star during that same campaign. The Thrashers traded Kovalchuk to the Devils in 2010. He signed a massive contract before leaving the NHL for the KHL for a period of time before he returned in 2018 for a brief stint. Before we move on, here's an honorable mention, Mark Scheifele. Kovalchuk never played a game with Winnipeg, so it's only fitting to honor Mark Scheifele as the career goals leader for the reborn Jets. The Jets drafted him in 2011, and he's since gone on to score 272 goals in 723 games played. The Carolina Hurricanes, Ron Francis, 382 goals. The Hartford Whalers drafted Ron Francis 4th overall in the 1981 NHL draft, and he played the first 9.5 seasons of his career there. He then moved on to the Penguins, where he would win most of his hardware in a trade that would transform the franchise. In Pittsburgh, he won back-to-back Stanley Cups in the 91-92 seasons. He also won the Lady Byng Trophy in both the 95-98 season and a Selke Trophy in the 1995 season, becoming the first Penguin to win it. However, Francis returned to the franchise that drafted him as a free agent, but at this point, they relocated to Carolina. He played 472 more games there, tallying 118 goals in that time. He'd retire in 2004 with a total of 1,731 games played. That ranks 4th all-time in the league. He had 1,738 points and joined the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2007. He is now the GM of the Seattle Kraken. The Vancouver Canucks, Daniel Sedin, 393 goals. When the legendary Sedin brothers' careers ended in 2018, Henrik had 29 more points, but it was Daniel, younger by 6 minutes, who finished with substantially more goals. The pair joined the Canucks with the 2nd and 3rd picks in the 1999 NHL draft. They would go on to play 17 seasons together in Vancouver. Daniel won the Pearson and Art Ross Trophy in the 2010-2011 season, which is one season after Henrik won the Art Ross and Hart trophies. Daniel was a 2-time All-Star and also won a King Clancy Trophy in his final season, sharing it with his brother. The pair retired at the conclusion of the 2017-2018 season, with Daniel scoring 2 goals, including the overtime winner, in their final game. The Canucks retired their numbers 22 and 33 in February of 2020, and since then, they have both been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. The Arizona Coyotes, Shane Doan, 402 goals. Shane Doan spent his entire career with the franchise that drafted him 7th overall in 1995. But after his rookie season, the franchise moved over 1,800 miles from Winnipeg to Phoenix, Arizona. There with the Coyotes, Doan played 20 more seasons. From 2003 to 2017, he served as the franchise's captain. Doan played 1,540 total career games with 972 points. He won the King Clancy Memorial Trophy in the 2009-2010 season and the Mark Messier Leadership Award in the 2011-2012 season, as well as 3 World Championship silver medals and 2 golds. Shane Doan retired after the 2016-2017 season, and the Coyotes retired his number 19 just 1 year later. The New York Rangers, Rod Gilbert, 406 goals. Rod Gilbert was a steady force for the Rangers during the 60s and 70s, scoring 406 goals and 1,021 points in 1,065 games over 18 seasons. After surviving a terrifying injury in junior hockey, Gilbert joined the Rangers at the tail end of the 1960-61 season. Though his career was not decorated with hardware, he won the Bill Masterton Trophy in 1976 for persevering through his back issues. Gilbert also played for Canada in the 1972 Summit Series. He retired after the 77-78 season, and his number 7 was the first Rangers number ever retired. Rod Gilbert joined the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1982. The New Jersey Devils, Patrick Elias, 408 goals. As the 51st pick in the 1994 NHL Draft, Patrick Elias joined the New Jersey Devils and never played for another team. He was a fixture for the franchise that went to the postseason every season from 1996 to 2010, winning Stanley Cups in the year 2000 and 2003. He was also an NHL All-Star in the 2000-2001 season. Patrick Elias isn't remembered as an elite player, but he was as consistent as they come. He retired after the 2015-2016 season with 1,240 games played, 408 goals, and 1,025 points. The Philadelphia Flyers, Bill Barber, 420 goals. The Philadelphia Flyers have claimed just 2 Stanley Cups in their history, back-to-back in 1974 and 1975. Bill Barber was a major contribution on both of those teams. Drafted 7th overall in 1972, his 64-point rookie season put him 2nd in Calder Trophy voting. He would play through the 1983-84 season, always with the Flyers, earning All-Star honors in 1975-76, 78 and 79, and then again in the 80-81 season. Barber scored 883 points in 903 games before a knee injury forced his retirement. After his playing career, he had a long coaching career, winning the Jack Adams Trophy with the Flyers in the 2000-2001 season. The Flyers retired his number 7 on October 7th, 1990, shortly after his Hockey Hall of Fame induction. The Toronto Maple Leafs, Mats Sundin, 420 goals. Mats Sundin became the property of the Quebec Nordiques with the first selection in the 1989 draft. But he became famous after the Maple Leafs traded for him, sending Wendell Clark to Quebec. It is arguably the best trade Toronto has ever made. Sundin would go on to play 981 games for the Maple Leafs, scoring 987 points. He was also a 2-time All-Star. In the 2007-2008 season, which would be his last in Toronto, he won the Mark Messier Leadership Award. His number 13 sweater was retired by the Maple Leafs in 2016, and he joined the Hockey Hall of Fame 4 years before that in 2012. The Ottawa Senators, Daniel Alfredson, 426 goals. Chris Phillips, who the Senators drafted 1st overall in the 1996 draft, played 1,179 games for the franchise. Daniel Alfredson was drafted 133rd overall in 1994, and he played 1,178 games throughout his career. Except for that 1-game difference between him and Phillips, Alfredson would hold virtually every Senators franchise record a skater could hold. Alfredson played his first 17 seasons in Ottawa, scoring 1,108 points. He won the Calder Trophy with 61 points as a rookie in the 95-96 season, which is a very quick evolution for a 6th-round pick. In the 2011-2012 season, he won the King Clancy Memorial Trophy, and then he went on to win the Mark Messier Leadership Award the following season. While he wasn't the most decorated player, and the Senators went through good and bad periods during his career, he was the heart and soul of the team, serving as captain from the 1999-2000 season through to the 2012-2013 season. Pursuing a Stanley Cup, Alfredson shocked his teammates by signing a 1-year contract with the Red Wings, which turned out to be his final year in the league in the 2013-2014 season. He returned to Ottawa to retire in 2014, and his number 11 went to the rafters. Alfredson was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2022. The Anaheim Ducks, Teemu Selanne, 457 goals. When the name Teemu Selanne comes up, the Anaheim Ducks immediately come to mind. However, it was actually with the Winnipeg Jets, not the Ducks, who drafted Selanne 10th overall in 1988. It was there where Selanne had his record-breaking rookie season, leading the league with 76 goals. However, it was in Anaheim where Selanne built the bulk of his Hockey Hall of Fame career. GM Jack Ferreira rewrote the future of the franchise by acquiring Selanne for Chad Kilger and Oleg Tverdovsky in February of 1996. Selanne would become the face of the Ducks, scoring 457 goals through 2 stints with the franchise, totaling 966 games. Those stints were interrupted by brief periods with the San Jose Sharks and the Colorado Avalanche. In the 1998-99 season, Selanne won the inaugural Maurice Rashard Trophy with 47 goals. Returning to Anaheim for the 2005-2006 season, he then won the Bill Masterton Trophy. In total, Selanne had 684 goals and 1,457 points in 1,451 career games played. He then retired with the Ducks at age 43 after the 2013-2014 season. Selanne was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2017. The Buffalo Sabres, Gilbert Perreault, 512 goals. Gilbert Perreault was a career Buffalo Sabre. The team drafted him 1st overall in the 1970 NHL draft, which was their inaugural draft. It turns out the first ever Sabre may have been the best. Perreault won the Calder Trophy as a rookie and collected a Lady Byng in the 1972-73 season. The 2-time All-Star collected 1,326 points in 1,191 career games. He retired in the 1987 season at the age of 36. The first ever Sabres draft pick became the first ever retired number and joined the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1990. The Tampa Bay Lightning, Steven Stamkos, 520 goals. The first overall pick in the 2008 NHL draft worked out very well for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They selected Steven Stamkos of the Sarnia Sting, and despite a somewhat lackluster rookie season, he quickly became one of the most dangerous goal scorers in the league. Stamkos won the Rashard Trophy in his sophomore season, and again in the 2011-2012 season, tallying 60 goals throughout that campaign. On top of that, he is also a 2-time All-Star. Stamkos now has 2 Stanley Cups and has passed Vincent Lecavalier's 383 goal mark, making him their franchise leader. The San Jose Sharks, Patrick Marleau, 522 goals. Patrick Marleau is an iconic member of the San Jose Sharks and definitely stands out when you look at their history. He holds the NHL record for games played with 1,779, which 1,607 of those came with San Jose. He scored 522 goals there and has 1,102 points just as a Shark. Though he has no individual hardware and has won 0 Stanley Cups, most expect Marleau to join the Hockey Hall of Fame very soon. The Calgary Flames, Jerome Anderson, 525 goals. Jerome Anderson is so synonymous with the Calgary Flames, but it might surprise you that they were not the team that drafted him. In fact, the Dallas Stars took Anderson 11th overall in the 1995 draft before trading him to Calgary in exchange for Joe Nieuwendyk in December of 1995. Nieuwendyk continued his Hall of Fame career in Dallas and helped them win a cup. As for the Flames, well, they did perfectly fine in this trade. Though Anderson never won a Stanley Cup, he accomplished practically everything else in his career. He was an All-Star 4 times, he won the Art Ross Trophy, the Rocket Rashard Trophy, and the Lester B. Pearson Award for his 96 points in the 2001-2002 season. He won another Rocket Rashard, the King Clancy, and the Mark Messier Leadership Award later in his career. Anderson left Calgary for the Pittsburgh Penguins in pursuit of a Stanley Cup, playing for several more teams throughout his career. He formally announced his retirement in 2018, finishing with exactly 1,300 points in 1,554 games played. In March of 2019, the Flames retired his number 12, and in 2021, he joined the Hockey Hall of Fame. The St. Louis Blues, Brett Hull, 527 goals. Brett Hull is one of the greatest pure goal scorers in NHL history, and he is iconically tied to the St. Louis Blues franchise, even though he won his Stanley Cups in 1999 and 2002 with the Stars and Red Wings. The Blues did not draft Hull, but traded for him early in his career with the Flames, which some view as the worst trade the Calgary Flames have ever made. Hull got to St. Louis and did not stop scoring, tallying 527 goals in 744 games. His best season was in the 1990-91 season, when he scored 86 goals, winning the Hart Trophy and the Pearson Award. Hull also won the Lady Byng Trophy in the 1989-90 season. Though he left the Blues as a free agent and immediately won with the Dallas Stars, he is still a St. Louis legend. Hull joined the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2009, 3 years after his retirement. The Montreal Canadiens, Maurice Rashard, 544 goals. The fact that the Rocket Rashard Trophy, awarded to the top goal scorer every season, is named after Maurice Rashard says everything you need to know about this goal scorer. A native of Montreal in the era in which he played, Rashard was playing for Montreal well before they arrived in the NHL. He would go on to play 18 seasons with his hometown team, winning an unbelievable 8 Stanley Cups. In that time, he played 978 games, scoring 544 goals and 422 assists for 966 points. In addition to being a 4-time All-Star, Rashard won the Hart Trophy for the 1946-47 season. He retired after the 1959-1960 season, serving as captain for those final 4 seasons, and joined the Hockey Hall of Fame the following year. It is difficult to overstate Rashard's legacy in Montreal or the greater hockey community. When he succumbed to abdominal cancer in May of 2000, the province of Quebec honored him with a state funeral. The Boston Bruins, John Bucyk, 545 goals. For all the great players in recent years for the Boston Bruins, the greatest goal scorer, statistically speaking, played during their heyday in the 60s and 70s. John Bucyk arrived in Boston during some controversy as the Bruins traded away Terry Sawchuk to acquire the young forward. However, all Bucyk ever did for the Bruins was score, tallying 545 goals in 1,436 games. As he aged, he helped win the Stanley Cup in 1970 and 72, and he grabbed the Lady Byng Trophy in the 70-71 season, and then again in the 73-74 season. He retired at the age of 42 after the 1977-78 season with 1,369 points in 1,540 games played. The Bruins retired his number 9, and the Hockey Hall of Fame inducted him in 1981. The LA Kings, Luc Robitaille, 557 goals. Luc Robitaille is by far best known for his 14 seasons with the LA Kings, but those seasons actually came through 3 stints. The Kings drafted the Montreal native in the 9th round in 1984. But he progressed to the NHL quickly, winning a Calder Trophy for his 84-point season in 1986-87. He played in LA through the 1993-94 season, whereafter the Kings traded him to the Penguins. Several seasons later, the Kings acquired Robitaille from the Rangers. He played there 4 more years and then signed with the Red Wings prior to the 2001-2002 season, hoping to claim his first Stanley Cup, which he did in that season. When that 2-year contract ended with the Wings, he returned to LA once again, where he would play out the final 2 seasons of his career, which ended with the 2005-2006 season. Robitaille was an 8-time All-Star in addition to his Calder Trophy and his Stanley Cup. When he retired, he had played 1,431 games and had 1,394 points, making him the highest scoring left winger in NHL history. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2009, and since then, he has served in the Kings front office, playing a critical role in building the team that won the franchise's first 2 Stanley Cups in the 2011-2012 season and then again in the 2013-2014 season. The Dallas Stars, Mike Modano, 557 goals. Mike Modano was drafted first overall by the Minnesota North Stars in the 1988 NHL Draft, becoming just the 2nd American to ever be taken with that pick. He would go on to become one of the greatest American hockey players ever. He finished 2nd in the Calder Trophy race with his 75-point rookie season. When the Stars relocated to Dallas after 3 more seasons, Modano already had 123 goals. Moving to Dallas, Modano would not miss a beat, and he became a critical player in popularizing the game in the American South. Modano helped the Stars win the Stanley Cup in 1999. He finished his career in Dallas after the 2009-2010 season with 1,050 points in 1,142 games played, in addition to his 309 points in 317 games played in Minnesota. He went on to play 40 more games with the Detroit Red Wings, retiring at 1,499 games, which is a missed milestone most attributed to the interference of head coach Mike Babcock. Mike Modano was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2014 and returned to Minnesota to join the Wild's front office in 2019. The New York Islanders, Mike Bossy, 573 goals. A legend in every sense of the word, Mike Bossy scored his incredible 573 goals and 1,126 points in just 10 seasons, which were all spent playing with the New York Islanders. The team drafted him 15th overall in the 1977 NHL Draft. He went on to win the Calder Trophy the following season, leading the league with 25 power play goals while scoring 91 points. Later in his career, he went on to win 3 Lady Byng trophies in 4 seasons. Bossy was the biggest scoring threat for the Islanders' iconic 80s dynasty, and he helped the team win Stanley Cups in 4 consecutive seasons. Bossy is the only player to score the Stanley Cup game-winning goal in back-to-back seasons. Unfortunately, Bossy's physical health declined quickly later in his career, and he officially retired after the 1987-88 season. The Islanders retired his number 22 in 1992, the year following his Hockey Hall of Fame induction. Tragically, Bossy passed away in April of 2022 at the age of 65. The Edmonton Oilers, Wayne Gretzky, 583 goals. Gretzky joined the NHL with the Oilers when the team left the folding WHA, and he would leave the team in a trade to the LA Kings that shocked the hockey world. In his career, he won 4 Stanley Cups, all with the Oilers, as well as 2 Conn Smythe trophies, 5 Lady Byng trophies, 5 Lester B. Pearson awards, 10 Art Ross trophies, and 9 Hart trophies. The vast majority of those all came during his time in Edmonton. Gretzky retired with the Rangers in 1999, having played 1,487 career games with a whopping 2,857 points. He was immediately inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame upon his retirement. Gretzky is widely considered the greatest player in hockey history and is synonymous with the Edmonton Oilers and the NHL. The Chicago Blackhawks, Bobby Hull, 604 goals. Known as the Golden Jet, Bobby Hull was one of the early great skaters in the history of the game. Hull played the first 15 years of his career in Chicago, collecting 1,153 points in 1,036 games. He won 2 Hart trophies, 3 Art Ross trophies, and a Lady Byng trophy with the Blackhawks. The NHL was actually forced to restrict blade curvature because of the popularity of players emulating Hull's style in a ruling referred to as the Bobby Hull rule. Hull ultimately left the Blackhawks in pursuit of more money in the upstart WHA with the Winnipeg Jets. He played 27 more NHL games at the end of his career during the 79-80 season, retiring thereafter. He joined the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1983. The Colorado Avalanche, Joe Sakic, 625 goals. Though he played in 2 cities, Joe Sakic only ever played for 1 franchise. The Quebec Nordiques became the Colorado Avalanche entering the 1995-96 season, at which point Joe Sakic had already had 234 career goals. He'd go on to add 391 in Colorado, as well as Stanley Cups in his inaugural season, and again in the 2000-2001 season. The first of those 2 playoff campaigns also earned him a Conn Smythe trophy. During that second Stanley Cup season, in which Sakic scored 118 points in 82 games, he earned the Lady Byng, Hart Trophy, and the Pearson Award. Sakic then retired after a number of injuries during the 2008-2009 season. Prior to the following season opener, the franchise then retired his number 19 with a C on his banner. Joe Sakic was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2012. The Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux, 690 goals. Mario Lemieux, who was the first overall pick in 1984, played his entire 17-season career in Pittsburgh. Super Mario is one of the greatest hockey players in history, scoring 1,723 points in just 915 games. He is second in all-time points per game, just behind Gretzky. Lemieux won the Calder Trophy in the 84-85 season and would go on to win 3 Hart Trophies, 4 Pearson Awards, 6 Art Ross Trophies, and 2 Conn Smythe Trophies, one each time he won the Stanley Cup. Despite overcoming cancer and several back injuries, he was still an all-time great. Lemieux retired in 1997 and immediately joined the Hockey Hall of Fame. However, he was not done there. He returned for 5 more seasons from 2000 to 2006, and during that time, he opened his home as a mentor, paving the way for Sidney Crosby. Mario Lemieux retired for good in 2006. The Detroit Red Wings, Gordie Howe, 786 goals. It's no surprise who leads the Detroit Red Wings franchise in goals, as the legendary Mr. Hockey played all but 80 of his 1,767 games in the NHL in the Motor City. During that time, he scored 786 goals, adding 15 with the Hartford Whalers at the age of 51 for a total of 801 goals. Gordie Howe would retire after the 1979-80 season with the Hartford Whalers, having 4 Stanley Cups, 6 Hart Trophies, and 6 Art Ross Trophies. He was a 21-time All-Star and was remarkably inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1972, almost a decade before his official retirement. Mr. Hockey is a legend in every sense of the word. The Washington Capitals, Alexander Ovechkin, 827 goals. Alexander Ovechkin is believed by some to be the greatest NHL goal scorer ever, considering the era he plays in. Drafted first overall by the Washington Capitals in 2004, he's never played for another team. He won the Calder Trophy as the Rookie of the Year in 2005-2006 with 106 points. He has gone on to lead the league in goals in 9 of his 18 completed seasons. Ovechkin has never scored fewer than 24 goals in an NHL season. In addition to his 9 Rocket Richard trophies, he's won 3 Hart trophies, 2 of those coming back-to-back in 2008-2009 and a third in 2013. He has also won 3 Pearson Awards, all back-to-back in the 2008-2009 and the 2010 seasons. He also won 1 Art Ross Trophy in the 2007-2008 season. Ovechkin's crowning achievement was undoubtedly the Stanley Cup he helped the Capitals win in 2018, along with winning the Conn Smythe Trophy. Funny enough, he is equally remembered for his legendary celebrations after winning the Cup. It's unknown how many years Ovechkin has remaining, but he likely has the best opportunity to break Wayne Gretzky's career goal record, so here's to hoping he can reach it. Thanks for watching our videos. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.